Jack here from NBSPE, bringing you some no bullshit sexual performance improvement advice. Specifically, we are talking about erection strength and longevity. How to keep it up as hard as you possibly want it and for as long as you possibly need it. I have compiled a list of every single possible thing you can do to improve your erection strength. The great thing about this list is everything on it is not mutually exclusive. They all stack with each other, so you can pick and choose what of these things you want to do, whether it just be one thing, a handful of things, or you can do absolutely everything on the entire list, and they will all work together to give you the hardest possible erection strength and longevity that you could possibly want. So first things first, I kind of have to include this because it is hands down the number one best possible thing that you can do to improve your erection strength, and that is the drug Viagra. So Viagra is a synthetic drug. It's not natural. It is a vasodilator which improves the blood flow around your body, and since your penis is basically just a giant vein, it improves your erection strength tenfold. It is an absolutely amazing drug, and I understand that this is not necessarily available to everybody. Like, for example, here in New Zealand, where I'm from, you need a prescription to get it, and I know it's the same in America. But if you do want to do this, nothing will give you a harder erection than Viagra. And I kind of have to include this because even if you do every other thing on this list and combine them all together, you still will not get the same effect that Viagra will give you. So Viagra will take you to erection strength that's just not naturally attainable. It takes you up and beyond, and it is a drug, so of course anytime you're using a drug of any kind, it will do it better than most other things. Viagra itself is not necessarily an unhealthy drug, apart from the fact that it puts a burden on your liver like all drugs do, because it improves blood flow around your body. So it's not necessarily what we call a harmful drug, but it can be a little bit harmful in the sense that mentally, if you're using Viagra every single time you're having sex, you may become dependent on it at some stages. Like, take a scenario situation, let's say you're out of the bar and an opportunity arrives and you go out to the bathroom out the back. You don't have time to pop a Viagra and wait 20 to 30 minutes for it to take effect, for you to do your thing, right? So if you've got yourself to the stage where you may be dependent on Viagra, that's not necessarily a good thing. So Viagra is by far the best possible option for you if you want to boost your erection strength and quickly without doing any other effort. But it may not necessarily be a good thing in the long run, and it may not be the option for you. But I have to include that. Viagra definitely, hands down, is good. So Viagra works because it is a vasodilator. There are a couple of other things that you can do to the same effect, but not quite the same potency. So other things that will expand your blood vessels in your body that are not drugs, the next best option would be to take a nitric oxide supplement that you can get from a sports supplement store. So this is a natural thing because it's using it's a supplement, so it's giving nutrients and things that your body needs anyway, absorbs into your body, that will help you expand the blood vessels. So the main ingredients like L-arginine, vitamin B3, Q10, magnesium, all of these things will be found inside one of these supplements. So instead of having to track them all down and take them all in like separate bottles and separate doses, just go and get a nitric oxide supplement, because you'll find that all of these ingredients are all present, so you can just get them all in one go out of convenience. If you're looking for the herbal route to achieve the same thing, and remember, when you take these supplements, this is not like Viagra, which is short-lived. This is like a permanent thing. If you're constantly taking these supplements and it's within your body, it'll be a 24-hour thing. It won't be like you need to take it before sex. You can if you want, and that'll help, but if you're taking it regularly as part of a healthy diet and on a daily basis, then you'll find that it's going to give you these effects constantly. You don't have to like wait around for them. If you want to take a herbal version of a vasodilator, there are a few different options. Now, you don't have to take multiple different herbal options to get the same effect. you can just take one or a couple. Just one is fine, because if you take, like, let's say, I'll tell you the list first, and then you can decide for yourself which one is more convenient for you to get into your diet. There are things like ginger and turmeric, onion, garlic, and basically those are the most common ones you can get. With onions and garlic, make sure that you have them raw. As soon as you cook them, the special oil which is found in it, the special compound which actually found within onions and garlic, that is the vasodilator. As soon as you fry it or cook it, the compound changes and it's no longer there. So maybe that's not necessarily the one that you want, because nobody wants to be going around eating raw onions. So maybe ginger or turmeric will be what you're looking for, or any other chili or pepper. Anything that's spicy will be a vasodilator as well. So as I was saying, you can take just one of these, you can take a couple, but you really don't need to take multiple. The difference between all of these different things is minuscule. So pick one that you like and take it. Personally, I usually just take ginger or turmeric because it's very easy and convenient to eat and absorb. So yeah, those vasodilators. So any of these things will help with erection strength. Next thing is physical. So think of your penis as a muscle. So how does an erection actually work? So one of the common mistakes that a lot of people make all the time is they think of the penis. People say, like, the penis is not a muscle. It actually is. It's not a skeletal muscle, so it's not like your bicep that will move your arm up and down. Like, you can't mentally control it, but there is muscle in your penis, except it's smooth muscle tissue, and it makes up about 50% of the muscle inside your penis. And what happens is, inside the erectile tissue, the blood vessels that feed into the erectile chambers in the erectile tissue is surrounded by smooth muscle tissue, and during arousal, this smooth muscle tissue contracts, which pulls open the blood vessels, which allows blood to flow in. So if you have a weak penis, like a lack of smooth muscle tissue in your penis, there's a couple of ways that you can strengthen it and build it and make it up stronger. The two main ways are pumping and jelqing. I'm not going to get into the specifics of how to do this. It's all in the guide. You can go look it up. But these two exercises, in addition to being a penis enlargement exercise which stretches and enlarges tissue, it also puts stress on the smooth muscle. And anytime you stress a muscle, it's going to grow larger and stronger. And so that's what's going to happen in this case. In fact, elderly men that get erectile dysfunction, they go to the doctor, and one of the commonly prescribed treatments for this is a medical pump. And so that's what it's for. They give you the pump and you pump every day. And it's not necessarily to enlarge your penis, but it's to strengthen the smooth muscle in there. And once it's strong enough again, you'll be able to get your erection back. That's one aspect to it. So either pumping or jelqing, or both. It's up to you. And in addition to that, you may also get some extra inches in the process as well, if you're not already doing that. The next thing is Kegels. Again, I'm not going to go into how to do Kegels, but you are exercising your PC muscles, which is not just the PC muscles, it's a collection of muscles all down around your pelvis area, your penis, your anus. And one of the things that the PC muscles are responsible for doing, because you've got your corpus casenovum, and the blood vessels feed in through the center of them, and then they come out around the outside of the penis. That's where all the blue veins on the outside of the penis are. And then they all merge together again, and it is a one single exit vein. And the PC muscles, when during arousal, they contract and they press up against this vein and they block the blood from coming out. So if you have a weak PC muscle, it struggles to block off the vein effectively, and blood is escaping. So the stronger your PC muscles are, the tighter it clamps down in there, and the harder it is for blood to get out and escape. And so that is responsible for keeping your erection up and your erection strength. So yeah, go do some Kegels. The next thing also attains to the physicality of your penis and your body as well, is just general health and exercise. So what a common mistake lots of people make is they think of their penis like, there's my penis, I work out my penis, I do my pumping, I do my jelqing, and I'm still not getting the erection strength that I want, because they are neglecting their general health and the rest of their body altogether. People forget that the penis is attached your body, and the penis is a part of your body. So if you're overweight, eating terrible food, taking lots of energy drinks and caffeine and maybe recreational drugs and not getting a lot of sleep, your health is going to be not as good as it could be. So if this is the condition that your body is overall, then remember your penis is attached to that. Your penis is a part of this whole thing. So the same thing is going to extend onto your penis. So the next thing is just general health and well-being. Go and do some exercise. Go and get your health in order. Eat healthy. Get some great sleep. Drink lots of water. Just go and sort your health out. I could go on to multiple different things in this area, but most people just know what they have to do. Stop eating shitty food, get some sleep, go do some exercise and some running. In addition to this, when you are in great shape and when you are having sex in general, this is a physical activity. So if you're having sex and you're putting the work in, eventually you're going to become short of breath and you can lose your wood, you can lose your erection. The reason this happens is as you are exerting yourself, using your legs, your abs, your buttocks, all of these things, they start to demand oxygen. And so what your body will do is it will send the oxygen to where it's needed. And if this is in your larger muscle groups, it will draw it away from where it's not. And that's how you lose your erection. So if you are in great physical shape, meaning go for a run, get some cardio, and your body is do some cardio, and your body is really effective at circulating oxygen around your body, this isn't going to happen to the same extent. So the worse shape you're in, the more this is going to happen. So let's say you're really terrible shape, you've got no cardio capacity, you're a little bit overweight, so you're moving a lot of weight around as well. You may only be having sex for like a minute and then you're exhausted, you're already short of breath and you lose your wood, as opposed to someone who is in really great shape. You may be able to go for half an hour or longer and just never lose your erection because your body is so efficient at circulating oxygen that it doesn't have to take the blood away from your penis because it's got a sufficient oxygen flow going around. Yeah, so just physicality, you can work out your penis, but generally your overall health and your overall body will contribute to this as well. Okay, so the next thing, the next category of ways to improve your erection strength is less of a physical thing and more of a mental thing. So there's two things. We're talking about energy levels in general and also how horny you are, or libido, or however you want to put it. So think of it this way. If you're going to have sex with a girl and you're kind of feeling tired and I don't know, I'm not really in the mood, but sure, I can do it. There's a lack of excitement there, and so you can't really get it up maybe as much as you want to. But if you're really, really feeling it and you're like, yeah, I want to go, it's going to go because you're horny as hell. And the hornier you are, the easier it will be for you to get it up and keep it up, as opposed to if you're not feeling it, right? So if you're one of these guys that struggles with this, maybe don't masturbate before sex. Maybe keep your desire to want to have sex as high as it could possibly be. But generally speaking, there are other ways that you can basically make yourself more horny, which is not an unhealthy thing. It's an okay, good thing to feel horny. So first thing is, again, we've just covered it, is generally your health. So if we go over all of that again, you will feel healthier and more energy levels, and you'll be ready to go a bit more. Testosterone is a big part of that. So if you're in pretty good shape, yes, you will have higher than normal testosterone levels, but one of the biggest crippling factors to your testosterone is excess body fat. So if you have any excess body fat in your body, you want to lose that because that reduces the amount of testosterone. So get rid of that. And testosterone itself is one of the biggest contributors to how horny you feel. So there are other routes you can go with this as well. For example, if you want to take steroids and inject yourself with more testosterone, this will work as well. I don't necessarily recommend this. A little bit like it's not necessarily a healthy or a sustainable thing, but that will definitely work if you want to go down that route as well. And if you want to supplement in some way to make yourself more eager, have a higher libido, there is one herbal supplement in particular which will help with that, called horny goat's weed, which is kind of funny because that is the actual name. When you it's a weed that grows up in the mountains in China, and the goats eat it. But they figured out that when humans take it, it makes us feel horny. So when you translate it, literally translate into horny goat's weed. So that'll make you want it and desire sex more if you're not desiring it enough already. And lastly, in regards to this, I want to talk about the things that can harm your libido and harm how horny you feel, and to avoid. So the biggest thing here is masturbation and pornography. So pornography is one of these things that lots of men consume, and it can become a bit of an addiction. So if you're masturbating to porn maybe once or twice a day, that may not necessarily be a problem. But if it's in excess of like 2-3 times a day, and you're become addicted to it, and now you're watching porn, you're watching more and more extreme imagery and extreme things, then what's happening is you are becoming desensitized to porn and sex in general. And then when it comes down to actually doing the deed itself in real life, without the porn present, you find it harder to stimulate yourself. You've almost become dependent on the pornography to stimulate yourself. So pornography is not good for you. I'd recommend not watching it at all, if possible. Or at very least cut back, because this can be affecting how much you want it and how potent and excited you are for the actual sexual act, which will affect your ability to get it up and keep it up. Yeah, masturbation is fine, but if you're masturbating more than once a day on average, then it becomes the same kind of an issue. Because, of course, masturbation is not a bad thing. If you don't use it, you lose it, and it's an exercise that keeps everything working in order, but you can do it in excess. And lastly, to tie things off, we are just talking about energy levels in general, because, of course, as I said, if you're feeling tired when it comes to sex, you're not really going to be in the mood. But if you're like, yeah, awake, let's go, you're going to be able to get it up and perform, and you're going to want to do it. So general health and well-being that we've already covered will contribute to this and improve this already. But there are a couple of things to avoid in this category. So I'm talking about stimulant drugs. So almost all stimulant drugs, with the exception of, a couple, but generally all of them are vasoconstrictors. So we talked a little bit about vasodilators previously, like Viagra and all the others. They help open up the blood vessels in your penis. Vasoconstrictors close them all. And all stimulant drugs are vasoconstrictors. They will close everything up. So caffeine is the weakest of the lot. It is a vasoconstrictor, but it's not so bad that it stops you from getting your erection up, but it will make it harder to get an erection. It may not even be noticeable because it's so weak. Once you get into some other things like cocaine, speed, methamphetamines, the stronger it is, or the higher the dose you take, the more it is going to constrict the blood vessels in your body, and it may even get to the point where you can't get an erection at all. Some of you may have experienced this. Maybe you've taken pills or whatever, and then it comes to the act and you can't get it up, and it's so frustrating. So yes, definitely avoid stimulants of any kind. Because yes, having more energy is a good thing, and it's going to be able to help you get your erection up, but not with artificial or unnatural drugs. So avoid those at all costs if you want to maintain your erection strength. However, there are some herbal or natural things that will generally, not very strong, you may not even be able to notice, but generally will increase your energy levels. And one that I've noted in particular, because it's probably the best that there is something called saw pomelo, or it's also known as pine bark extract. So this is a very good supplement that you can take if you want. And caffeine, generally speaking, is fine. It does give you energy, but it is a vasoconstrictor, but it's not necessarily enough to be able to stop you getting your erection up, but it will affect it somewhat. Yeah, so that's the list. That's everything you need to know about getting up, keeping it up. Any other questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll hopefully be able to get back to you guys and help you out.